I know I'm going to get a lot of flack and a lot of hate for this, but learning music theory, complete and total waste of time. Here's why. Okay, so I, being a musician myself, singing and playing piano, and also to seeing others attempt to do the same thing and seeing where it is that they struggle in their learning, it's pretty much a full waste of your time to be going down to the basics of what most music colleges are teaching you, of how to read sheet music and how to hit certain notes here, how to have proper phrasing the way it's written on the music. Like, that's not how music is created. I was actually blessed and privileged enough to where I was trained by Katy Perry's former vocal coach a few years back, and pretty much what he told me is, when you learn to play any instrument, be it voice or piano or guitar, and the first thing you do is trying to read notes with sheet music on a staff, it really, really limits your ability to learn. Because when you try to learn music that way, it essentially just teaches you to be a copycat and only do stuff just as it's written. But when you learn music by first, for piano or guitar or other instruments, start out learning what the chords are and the scales of that instrument, how to play those chords and scales and how to mix those together, that's going to allow you to actually pick up your instrument so much faster and get into playing songs. Like, when I was first learning piano, I literally was at the level where I was playing songs within the first month because I focused on learning the scales and the chords first. And for voice, because the voice is a little bit more, pretty much everyone can match the pitches and you can hear what your voice is singing. I feel too many voice teachers, they struggle just teaching students, okay, just because you match this pitch here, how it's written on the sheet music, that's good enough at singing. They spend the majority of their time. If you're taking one-on-one lessons with somebody and the very first thing that they start out and they continue for weeks on end just teaching you how to read music, you're going to take years to learn an instrument. I'm telling you, years. I know I'm going to get tons of hate. Feel free to comment. I know some of you, college teachers or high school music teachers might just completely, totally disagree, and I totally understand. That's fine. I'm just saying, from what I was trained and what I learned from someone who was top in training other people that were high level in the music industry, I have really come to the conclusion that spending far too much time on that music theory is really just hurting the students. There needs to be actually more application towards how to have song application, how to actually get a trained ear for music to feel and sense the music. Because music, proper singing, proper piano playing, proper guitar playing, it's something that you feel instinctively in your body and not just something that you remember how to play this particular way. Because the best piano, the best guitar players, the best singers, they know how to feel the music and they know how to match what is in the music. Like, the greatest songs you've ever written, were not just sat there. Someone didn't just sit writing down the sheet music left and right and, here's the note here. No, they started taking the instrument and they just started playing. And they started coming up with, okay, this thing matches here, this matches good. And then after they had put that full song together and they had it already here in their head, then they decided to write it out on music so that other people would be able to know the right order. So I'm not saying it's totally wrong for you to be learning how to read sheet music and how to go about those other parts of music, but for you guys out there that have been struggling and feel like, oh man, I'm never going to be a musician, learning sheet music and learning how to sight read and how to sight sing, it's not something that's a major requirement. I can't tell you how many people I've met that performed in audiences of thousands to audiences of tens that have been playing for years upon years. Learning how to read music is not an absolute necessity.